It's our
There you go.
birthday.
There you
It's
go.
Ultra Fly Talk's birthday.
There you go, buddy.
Oh my God, I can't believe it's been 1 year already. It's absolutely insane. Oh,
1 year, man. And it's one of those things where it's dope. It's a dope little milestone, dope little accomplishment, you know?
I agree. Like, it's been something. Like, I was looking at some of our older recordings, and yeah, it's from then to this, it's two different ball games. Like, actually, like two different things. Like, we've gotten so much better with like our recording and shit like that. But like, even just the stuff we talk about.
Yeah, man. Dropping. I mean, I'm not going to claim that I'm any type of professional broadcaster yet, but even not always say like after every word or say after every word, like just little things like that is what I've noticed. Sometimes we do it still, but it's like it's just a habit break. But
that is the worst part about editing is that, oh fuck, I'm saying this. Oh, I should have said this. Oh, I said something wrong. Why couldn't I think about that word? I have that word in my head right now. You know what I mean?
But then you got to think about it like this too, man. If you have a brain fart or anything like that, these things are natural. And me personally, I don't edit anything. Like I just let the episode, like other than putting the intro graphic that you made or whatever, I don't really edit it because it's like even if there's a 1-2 lag, you don't want to disrupt the flow of the conversation. Granted, if the lag isn't super crazy or whatever, and it's awesome because then the audience gets to see our growth without any type of filter on it. I like putting it out that way for that reason, man. I don't know. It makes it feel a little bit more authentic. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, man.
I don't really do much editing with it either these days, other than like basically what you do. It's just like doing like the clips and stuff like that, where I have to trek through the whole podcast and see shit like that. Okay. I could have like I should have said this. Blah, blah blah. It's just that's the only part that gets me. But it is what it is at this point. Like,
I mean, it is.
We've been doing it for 51 episodes now, so it is what it is.
Yeah, man, and like, it's cool because you see even the things that we've been talking about and like the chemistry development and things like that, and like having minimal distractions throughout our talking. And then on top of that, you see the growth and like actually the depth into what like we get deeper into conversations versus just kind of keeping it on the surface. That's another thing I've noticed in the 51 weeks of recording a podcast. You know,
I don't know. For me, it's just been trying to like find something more to say because like I live around here. Not a lot happens day to day, like week to week basis. So it's a matter of like current events for me, or like just like random. I don't know. Yeah, just random shit I find online. That's basically how I like have any cool talking points, unless something crazy happens, like the break-in, or if I go to Toronto or shit like that.
Yeah, but see, even with that, bro, it's like I think it's more being open to, like, say for example, if I bring a topic, Trent, that you might not have really known about, but I kind of like explain or elaborate, or vice versa. Like you bring a topic I didn't really know about it, and you actually can elaborate, and then I'm taking in what you're saying. It's kind of like formulating a little opinion off even though it's just like a minimal amount of information that you might be able to give at the time. Forming a little opinion off that and giving the audience just what's on your mind about the subject. We don't have to always be perfect. Even like, as you're saying, having more to say, it's like, if you genuinely feel like saying something, hey bro, that's what's up. You can say it. But if you want to hold back, that's cool too. I feel terrible because sometimes I feel like I'm talking so much, but it's not even like that. It's more of just, sometimes I might say something and you may say a few words back, and then like, kind of like asking me to respond to what you just said, and then it's like I kind of have to talk again, right? So sometimes finding that balance is tricky too, man.
Yeah, it's always something with like not just us, not just this podcast. It's like podcasting and like broadcasting in general like that. It's like you're trying not to step on each other's like toes, and you're trying not to like talk over each other, have like everyone talking at once sort of thing, especially if you get more than like two people involved in it. Like if you got like 3-4 people in, that's when it starts getting like, okay, one person's got to talk here at a time, sort of thing. You got like almost take it back to public school with the talking stick. Like it's almost has to get to that point with it. You know what I mean? But with two of us, it's like it is pretty much like you say something, I say something, we respond. Basically, that's just it's pretty much how it goes. It's so formulaic, but that's just the way it goes.
No, but it still feels natural. It's not like anything. Oh, in my opinion, it's not like anything feels forced. If I genuinely don't have something to say, or if you genuinely don't have something to say, it's like, all right, I'm not gonna. I might just say, yeah, man. Even though you explain what you're talking about, Trent, I don't really have nothing to say. Like I don't really know how to. But that's just kind of what it is. Regardless, it's dope to be able to see these types of developments and this type of growth over a year span. Even though it's episode 51, we missed a week, but to the people listening, it's still been a year. And beyond that, like we've been boys for a minute. Like it's just dope that we put together our minds to build a project and it's been a year in that. It's pretty dope, man.
I agree. And it's just going to keep getting better and better from here. Like it just even like watching some old shit back now, I'm just like, oh, there's some more stuff there. There's a clip there, blah, blah, blah. Like just even doing stuff like that is just like just future stuff. And then like our other projects we have on the go is just going to help stuff as well too. Like whatever, like, I don't know what you're doing like side project wise outside of this, but like my stuff with all that, like it's just going to bring more eyes to this basically is what it's all going to amount to in my estimation.
Yeah, bro, straight up, because it's all about like having things branch out, like planting a seed. Like if it was a tree metaphor, just plant a seed, have a big ass tree grow, bam, it turns into you have things that branch out from it. You don't want to have it where the tree doesn't grow at all and then you're literally just it's stagnant. But what also benefits that is you actually watering the tree though, and actually making sure it has sunlight and nourishment and making sure that it has all the elements it needs to grow. Same with this motherfucking podcast, right? It's like, got to do our best to propel it. Not, as you know, within reason, like you don't want to like stress your mind or whatever, but if it's something you're involved with, like we might as well push it and make sure that we give it our all, right? Even though it might be a hobby, it could develop into something where it's making more than our quote unquote jobs or our quote unquote careers do. So it's weird, but you never know how life goes, right? You genuinely never know how life goes. But you gotta put that nourishment in my opinion.
Yeah, that would be like the ultimate, but like at this point right now, it's just for me, it's just self-expression for the sense of like it's creating because like I want to create, and that's what that's what I've been put on this earth to do is like make like art of some sort, like create, do stuff like that. And this is just another form of it for me. So whether it be like for the views, whether it be for whatever, for me, it's just for me, basically, like making this stuff to like my own self-expression and my own like, a painter must paint, and all that stuff. Like I got to do this. Like, even if like it doesn't get me like 1 million views, it doesn't get me a sponsorship deal or whatever, it's still me doing my thing.
Straight up, man. And like, even to add to that, like having it feel like it's a therapy session, but not a therapy session in the sense of telling one's deepest, darkest secrets or whatever. Because again, like I'm private too, like I'll share whatever, this is a podcast or whatever, but at the same time, it's like I'm private to a degree where sometimes you may express things like in the early days, like when like, you know what I mean? Like you might express things and then be like, oh man, we got to edit that out, blah, 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 right? And then that is what it is. It might be a personal situation, personal story that you don't want to share. But at the same time, like, I'm slowly but surely getting back to that point where it's like, I'm feeling comfortable enough to share where it's like, even if you have to edit it out, you still, because me and you, as we're just having our conversation, well, me, you, and whoever else is hacked into our Zoom, like our account to listen to us while we're recording. But nah, bro, it's like, you think about it, like, I'm not trying to be fearful in expressing in when I know that this is supposed to be therapeutic and I know that this is something that can help relieve anxieties or whatever. You're just getting out what's on your brain, like getting off whatever's on your chest or whatever, right? So it's dope to be able to get back to that point and not necessarily stress those types of things, you know?
I agree. It's like you said, therapeutic is the best way to put it, so to speak, like best way to like articulate it like that, because it is like we do talk about the things like when we do have things to talk about like that have been like we've been thinking about it all week. It is like a release on all that because I got a head full of ideas and they're driving me insane. Like that's a line from Maggie's Farm by Bob Dylan, but it's like that's my life. Like 1.5 million ideas running through my head and they're driving me nuts because I can't get all of them out at once, or I can't get all of them out, period. So you, in the process of being able to get some of these like thoughts and some of these like, I don't know, especially if we've been on like on the trip all week about this or something like that, or this has been weighing on my mind for like this and that, to get at least one of those things off the mind is, it's so beneficial, even just for 40 minutes, even for like 20 minutes, for how long it takes. It's still that release. It's a release. That's basically what it is.
Word, man. And it's dope because being able to identify that type of stuff, I think it goes a long way and it helps with someone's personal development. We don't have, in my opinion, it's like we talk about 1 year of recording a podcast, but it's like another milestone will be reached later on this year. Well, in a few months for me, I know you're a little bit later on in the year, but another milestone will be reached where we're entering a new decade, bro. Like if I'm fortunate enough to have those types of situations happen, I can just say like, just being grateful and thankful that you put up with people, and don't get me wrong, you get to learn to know people and get to learn to know what people like and don't like and things like that. And trying not to take things personal when they express things they don't like, because if it's something that you can change, like, hey man, hey Graham, I don't like when you do this, this, and this when we're talking. Like if you say that to me, I have to be like, oh shit, okay, let me see if I can alter that. Just to make things run a bit smoother. It's not about being like, yo, and getting upset or whatever, but us growing and actually learning to get to those types of points, like that right there is dope. The growth, making it to 1 year, hopefully many more, but then beyond that, reaching another milestone later on in the year, bro, where it's like time's flying, but I'm having fun, you know? As I'm dressed up with my house coat and my little scarf and hat to match, like I'm Biggie. You can call me G Hef, but no foul play. This is all dope. Everybody legal here. Everybody right here.
Oh man, yeah. It's crazy. Just like you said, like just thinking about some of like the episodes we've had and all that, and it's just like, just trying to pick out some of those. It's like, this is like, oh, that was great. That one was great. You know what I mean? Like Drunk Cast one stands out to me. I watched that one again. That was such a fun one. I don't like, it was so like, hey, I've had a few to drink, and I'm like, well, I've got a fridge full of drinks, so why the hell not start drinking with you? And then 40 minutes later, I've drank about 3, 4, something like that, and I'm fucking plastered. And then I think after that, I left here and went and drank some more later on.
That's what's up, bro. And that's what it is. Like,
especially now looking at it when I can't drink at all, it's like, whoo, good old days.
But that's what it turns into. Because I was going to say, bro, like, as you know me, I'm not even that huge of a drinker in that regard. So for me to be like, yo, Trent, let's just grab a few beers, grab a few whatever, knock them back and record a podcast. It's funny because it was something spontaneous and it was in the moment. And unfortunately, I know like, you can't necessarily drink now, but unfortunately for the reason why, but fortunately that it might make it where your not perspective, but like you not drinking might benefit you in a way that you might not have known was going to benefit you. You know what I mean? So that in those certain regards, like everything happens for a reason, right? Like, but you already know how it goes, man. Like I'm just saying, it's wild that dope ass podcast we had, you know, the Drunk Cast.
It's definitely like the fringe benefit of it is the health benefits, obviously, like like the liver reset, better on the brain and all that stuff. But like, it's not like I ever miss like the taste or like anything like that. So like anytime people offer me like a near beer or anything like that, it's like I don't miss the taste. I miss the high. That's it.
Right,
And that's
bro.
it. I don't miss anything else about it. I don't miss the drinking culture around it. I don't miss, you know, drunk people, like dealing with drunk random people.
Yeah.
I don't miss being drunk and like just drunk and disorderly, like out of control, like you're not being able to like completely black out where you're like you wake up in a ditch sort of thing. I don't miss that. I don't miss wicked hangovers or anything like that. So there's a lot of things. So as much as there's like I miss the high of it, there's a lot of things I'm not missing out on.
Exactly, bro. And that's a dope ass perspective to have. Because if you like say if people want to push forward, sometimes we got to just realize what it is, take it for what it is, and make the most out of it. And that's what you're doing, bro. So keep going, man. It's like, and it's dope, like regardless, because even though it's like, yo, it can affect my health, to be able to like stop cold turkey and be like, I'm cool, like that's just what it is, bro. Like that's like a dope situation and dope willpower to have, man.
I
But
agree. It takes a lot. Like, well, not for me. I shouldn't say that. For like other people, yeah, this would be a fucking complete nightmare for a lot of people. And it has like I'm not gonna lie, like the first like from like about September till maybe even up until December, it was a nightmare for me just for like the social aspect of it because I'm pretty much the only like non-drinker in the group now. But I still like can smoke weed and do like edibles with like all
yeah,
10 hands. But like it's still like it's not the same. Like
yeah,
it's hard to be on the same wavelength with like people like that when you're like completely buzzed out in a different dimension sort of thing. So it was different trying to adjust to that. But I've adjusted to it now and here we are.
and that's the thing I've realized in life, Trent. As wild as it might seem, as wild as it might sound, the more you do certain things, like whether it's starting a new job, whether it's starting a new school program, whether it's starting a new skill or trade that you're trying to learn, whether it's like you're getting into mechanics or engineering or whatever, the more you do the subject or the task or whatever, like the easier, so to speak, it becomes. Even if it starts off as like a grueling, terrible buzzkill process, whether it's getting to know somebody, if it starts off rough, but then eventually it gets to a point where you guys are smooth sailing, bro, it's different. And that's what I'm noticing as like almost in every aspect of life. Like you work a little bit at something and slowly but surely, if you stay dedicated, it just becomes second nature in a lot of things. I don't know, man. I rock with it though. I rock with that perspective.
I agreed. Like definitely the more you do things, the easier it gets. Like even what we were saying about editing, like doing like slapping together one of these like episodes ain't no thing now. Like especially if everything goes kosher with everything and nothing comes out fucky like audio or technical wise, ain't no thing.
Yeah,
So
man.
compare that to
Even
my very first ever podcast I did that was like 3 hours long and I had to chop it up into 2 videos. And the whole time I like editing it, I wanted to just fucking kill myself. Like it was just so
damn.
painful
All right.
just getting through it. Like it was just
Hey,
like,
man.
I hate this. Why am I doing this? Like this is
Yeah.
ridiculous. There's got to be an easier way. And there is an easier way. And I've learned it all since. So here we are.
But bro, I was gonna say, even on the flip side, like some of the things that like I don't know, because I say this expression a lot when I say words have power. Like the self-talk that we do to ourselves and stuff like that is so key, bro. And not even on no meditation Zen type shit, but it's like it's kind of real, man. Like if I'm constantly saying like I ain't shit when I wake up in the morning, I'm not gonna be shit. Or if I'm constantly saying like, yo, like this person, if I see this person, I'm gonna do X, Y, and Z, like damage to this person or whatever. And like I'm just talking all types of negative bullshit. That's just gonna just come into fruition, bro. That's just gonna just pop up as a reality. It's something else I've been noticing. I know like not everybody looks at life like that, but when you think about it, real deep like thoughts about that shit, we kind of are manifesting and bringing what we want into our existence, my G. And like when I don't know, it's just different. And I've realized like that's another thing along with the whole taking something challenging and doing it a lot to the point where it gets easy. Like another thing is trying to correct, like alter the way I be talking to myself. And you know what I mean? Because I feel like I keep on going, if I were to be a person to keep going down the path where I'm saying dark things to myself, I feel like that's going to be my outcome, bro. So I got to try to reverse that and have like better energy and better results come from that. You know what I mean?
I completely agree with that. There's I wish I had it. I don't know if I have it on my phone. It'll take me 2,000 years to find it now because my phone's just stacked with pictures. Um, but it's like it was something about like the inner it was some like pseudo masculine bullshit. So like the inner warrior, the inner samurai doesn't like understand when you're like joking or like being self-deprecating with like your humor and whatnot. It, like you said, what you're saying, like it takes that to heart and it damages it and like weakens that inner character, so to speak. So it's like putting those words out there and into existence. Yeah, you can, it really can do some damage to you, especially like you said, being on the negative thing. Like, especially if you're on that negative trip, you're not going to do anything. You got to get out of that headspace. You got to be, to say, to put it fucking cliche, you got to be more positive with not just your words, but like just how, like you said, you're talking to yourself, how you like look at like your situation and whatnot. And it's one thing to note is one thing to note the negatives in your life. It's another thing to find the positives within the negative spaces or find the beauty within those negative spaces.
Bro, that's so key. I was talking to. It's funny you literally brought that turn of phrase of keep like being remaining positive or keeping the positivity type thing. I was talking to a woman who I be rocking with, bro. Like I mess with her. But anyway, she was saying like her working conditions are unfortunately negative as far as just overworked, underpaid, et cetera, and it's constant, right? And I was saying that's real, but with perspective, like you got to try to look at it in the most positive way, because if not, you're just gonna constantly be in like a pessimistic mindset. Like no optimism is in your view, and it's like she was saying, like, yeah, but there's a difference between being positive and being realistic. And I was like, you're right. If something's fucked up, it's fucked up. Like if it's a messed up scenario, it just is. But at the same time, you got to be able to look at it like perspective wise, be like, let me alter this shit so that even though I'm in a messed up situation, I can try to get the best out of it and get out this shit, opposed to just being like, woe is me, and just stay there forever. Having seeing that little silver lining in a situation can alter your whole fucking reality, man.
It really can. Like some like, especially just from even just from outside perspective or just some internal perspective, just that shift in how you look at things. Like, like fuck, I've been through so many times where it's been like I'm like so hopeless, like situation wise, like money or whatever else, or working conditions or whatever else. But I found like one positive through anything or some sliver of positivity through like, oh, like commute wasn't that bad today or something like that. You know what I mean? Just like some little sliver of optimism or hope. And that was enough for me at that time. It's crazy. It really is crazy what just like even the smallest amount of like optimism or just silver lining in situations can do for your overall health. Like it's just searching for those like silver linings and those like slivers of optimism.
It's wild, bro, because even being able to like identify that those little pieces of optimism that can pull you out of a dark ass place, or having the courage to be in a dark place and letting someone else come in and help you or come in and pull you out of that dark place, because you got to be strong to be able to open up to people, right? So
Oh, you can say that again.
but it's like it's the real, bro. Like I just look at it, I try to look at it from a standpoint of, that's why I feel like I'm relatively like we spoke about it in past episodes, but I'm relatively transparent, because even though it can be too much for people, like, oh, I didn't know you were going to tell me about this and this, or this part of your childhood, or this part of your this that you really liked about yourself, or like, and I understand that, yeah, you can be too much if you just kind of overbear people with all your information. But I'd rather you know me and be trusting in that regard, so that I kind of disarm any bullshit ass scenarios that you think might come from me. Like, and I know that might sound weird, but it's like, nah, like, I just don't want you to have these bullshit ass barriers against me, like thinking like, oh, he's going to try to harm me, or he's going to try to do this or that, or try to screw me out of this situation. When the reality is, it's like, nah, bro, I'm not here to do that type of bullshit. If it's warranted, it's warranted. If it's a matter of defending oneself, that's what it is. But to just go out of my way to try to harm people. Hell nah, bro. That I don't like. As I was talking about the energy you bring into your life earlier, I do not want that type of bullshit in my life. So it's all about positivity slash getting to the goal slash working hard as shit to get there, so that when you get there, you remain there. That's what type of time I'm on, bro.
And I feel you on that, man. Like, especially when it comes to like meeting new people and all that. It's as a matter of being too transparent or like not transparent enough. And for me, I don't know. I'm always like I've said it before on on earlier podcasts. I try to leave them wanting more, sort of thing. So like I don't give them everything up front. I give them enough to know that like, hey, I'm not like a complete piece of shit. You know what I mean? Like I'll give them that much, but if they rock with me, they rock with me, and I'll give them some more every time we hang out. You know what I mean?
Yeah, man. And that's kind of what I feel like. That's the type of shit that I bumped into recently, where it's like with the same young lady I'd be talking to you about earlier in the podcast. It's like sometimes they can get tricky though, man, because you kind of share certain information with each other, and then it gets to a point where you might think like, okay, you can either move forward with this individual, or you might be at a point where you know enough about them and they know enough about you where they're saying, I don't know if we should take this further. It's like that weird gray area in between those two mindsets is where I'm at. And I'm pretty sure like it's at the same, like I gotta just flat out ask her like, yo, do you want to like in the most genuine way possible express like what could be the next step? And this is like, these are the things I'm noticing, bro, because it's like, you want to be transparent, but you don't want to like, as you said, like keep them wanting more. That person might feel that way, even if you share a lot of like facts about you, you know what I'm saying? So it's a good mindset to have, but at the same time, I just think like, fuck it as it is. It's not about not taking advice, but it's like, I'd rather just still be transparent so that the person knows that I'm not on no bullshit. Like you were saying earlier, that you're not like a complete jerk. I want them to know flat out, yo, I'm not gonna fuck you over. And at least from there, we can kind of get to like a real fucking conversation or relationship or whatever.
It's literally in my Instagram fucking thing. You don't have to fuck people over, survive. That's literally in my Instagram bio. And it's not just some like phrase or whatever. I live by that. Like, that's all there is to it.
Real shit. But on another random note, like another episode I fuck with, the Halloween episode, bro, where we tripped out and shit. I was dressed as a ninja. Who were you dressed up as?
Dressed up as Bob Ross.
That's what I was saying. I was waiting for my boy came in with what is it? Happy mistakes or whatever.
Yeah.
So like, that shit is funny, bro. I was like, nah, my boy's tripping. When I see you come on with the pink shirt with the Bob Ross permed out fro, I was like, nah, he's wilding. But that's what it is, man. Like, and to the people listening, we're only gonna try to make like more funny ass memories like that, because that's what it's about, bro. Expressing yourself, like as we were saying, it's kind of therapeutic, but having fun too, man. I'm definitely not trying to take myself too serious. I think that's why, Trent, I find myself being super duper transparent right when I meet people, because it's like I don't take myself so serious where it's like, no, I want you to know X, Y, and Z about me so that you feel like you know me in a shorter amount of time. And so it doesn't have to, quote unquote, take a lifetime to get to know me. Unless, don't get me wrong, if it's a woman and we're getting romantic and things like that, that's different, because then it's like, okay, I might, like you were saying, hold it down and not necessarily say every single thing, because you want them to, like you said, want to come back for more and shit. But it's different. It's different though, man. But I find myself not taking myself too serious. That's why I think I'm super transparent, you know?
It's honestly like two sides of the same coin with that, like being like you said, therapeutic and like serious, but also having fun. It's kind of, and the two aren't like, they have to be like on like opposite ends of each other. Sometimes you can combine the two. It's hard, but sometimes you can combine the two. But I don't know, man. I'm all about trying to like express myself and have fun at the same time. So it's it's something. That's basically it. Like it's just something. Like I don't know,
Right.
man. It's a work in progress, like every other facet of my life, and I wouldn't have it any other fucking way.
And that's the thing. That's a good way to look at it, buddy. We're a good way to look at it because nothing's ever perfect. But if you can keep on working at it and keep on improving, I think that's the main goal. I don't know. That's kind of it for me, man. I feel like that's what's up. You
I
know,
think that's
you
a
know,
perfect place to end it on, frankly.
yeah, buddy. 1 year in, and hopefully we can
1
go
year.
1 year more and keep going. Keep going, man. Like keep setting checkpoints and keep trying to, you know, communicate and see what we can do to improve. And to the people listening, I appreciate, and no matter what amount it is of people who eventually start listening or don't listen, just know that we rock with y'all and we appreciate you listening to us. You know, it's something that we hope to continue to do for a long time. You know, but yeah,
Till
for
the
the
wheels
people,
fall off.
word. I couldn't say it any better myself. To the people listening, my name is Graham,
I'm Trent.
and this is another episode of Ultra Fly Talk. 1 year, baby.